Hello, hello everybody, and welcome to Crafty Hour 13. It's Kourtney here with Scrapbook-N-Memories in Harrisonville, Missouri. So thank you for spending another day with us. You got Deanna during the day, and then you join me in the afternoon for part 2. So I hope you guys are ready for 3 more fun cards. And a little bit different style and a little bit different techniques than Deanna did. So hello everybody. I see everybody signing on. I hope some of you are crafting along. If not, I know some of you are probably working on dinner as you watch, and you're going to go back and watch and craft along later. So thank you everybody for trusting the process and joining us in these fun crafty hours. So since we're doing crafty hour number 13 tonight, that means we announce a new crafty hour tomorrow morning. 13, 14, so it'll be 15. Crafty hour number 15. We will be announcing tomorrow, and I think Deanna already gave you guys some little hinters, but it's something new that Hunky Dory is putting together. Something new that we jumped on and was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be an amazing crafty hour. So, and a new product that came out that we just ordered yesterday. So again, we're waiting for it to come in so we can add some extra bonus items to your kit, because we just love these extra bonus items. I mean, how awesome are these? And I know you guys got them in your kits. How awesome are these clogs and gears that you got in your kit? They're lightweight. Deanna showed you how to antique them a little bit with the Prima waxes, and there's just so much you can do with those. So those are live. All right, now we got to block somebody who is spamming us. All right, so hello everybody. Hello, hello. Okay, somebody comment now. Make sure I didn't shut off comments for everybody. I was just trying to block somebody who keeps spamming us on that. Might have to message Deanna really quick. Okay, there we got it. Thank you, Lisa. Gotcha. Got a hello. Okay, I didn't block everybody. Okay. So, yes, that kind of threw me off there. So apparently Crafty Hour is a very hot topic, and apparently somebody keeps claiming that they are Crafty Hour, and it's not me and it's not Deanna. So we have to keep reporting those to Facebook and keep blocking them, because I guess we're trending. I don't know what's going on. So I got them blocked. So hello everybody. All right, I think the eyeballs have quit growing. So yes, so we will announce the new Crafty Hour tomorrow. Number 15, and it's going to be an amazing treat. And we are heading to market at the end of the month, and we are meeting with some vendors, and we've got some exciting new things that we're going to talk with them about to get some new crafty hour ideas and some new products. So we are super excited, even classes and stuff. So we are super excited to be working with them and meeting them in person. It's been 3 years since we've met in person. And Dad's on puppy babysitting, and the puppy just barged through the door. Okay, so hopefully you guys saw the list and the photos that I posted last night for your supplies that you're going to need. From Deanna, you had the ink, whatever ink you want to distress it up. She used frayed burlap. My favorite's vintage photo, so make sure to grab an ink and a blendy tool, any kind of brown, any color you want, just grab it. It doesn't really matter. And then I also had on here to grab a distressing tool or something that's just going to rough the paper up. So I love this one from Sizzix. It's like a straight blade, so it really distresses things up. If you've got a sanding tool, a burnisher, Tim Holtz has little paper distressors, anything that roughs it up, that's great. Doesn't have to be exact. I did say too, some black string or twine. And of course, all of these added items are optional. If you're not a big inker, that's okay. You don't have to ink. If you're not a sewer, that's okay. You don't have to sew. You could use a black pen instead. But these are kind of just added things that I thought would be super fun to add. So I said either a black string or floss or something like that. And then, yes, my obsession lately are these Spellbinders dies. This, I used it in the last crafty hour. I'm using it again. Hopefully Spellbinders introduces me to a new die at market so I can move on. But you're going to get your money's worth out of this die set because I keep using it. It's the postage edge rectangles. If you don't have this one, any nesting die, any rectangles will work. I'm just going to show you how to cut some centers out of things and give them two different looks. So, that is that. I know, right? I love the postage edge. They also have this in squares, ovals, and circles. They're all amazing. So we're going to be playing with that guy again. So hopefully everybody is ready to play. Hello, I see everybody signing in from Canada. We've got some KC Mo. We've got some coasters. We've got everybody. Oh, there's Deanna. Deanna's on now. So hello, everybody. Let's get ready to rock and rumble. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is we're going to grab our pieces. So this is going to be the first one we're going to play with. And I just loved these papers. To me, I love the inks, the paints, the distress, but I kept laughing when Deanna kept saying, oh, we're going to keep it kind of clean. We're going to keep it kind of clean. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, we're going to get messy tonight. So, like I said, it's all optional. If you want to stay nice and clean, go for it. If you want to get dirty and down dirty with me, go for it. We're going to have fun. So first thing you're going to need is a card base. Any card base you want. I'm doing a top fold. You can do a back fold. I'm keeping them this size. This is a weird size. And actually, I don't even remember. It is a 4 by 6, 4 by 6. So we're going to keep it 4 by 6. I know a standard size card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but why not have fun? Why not keep it weird? So we're going to keep that guy. And then in your paper pack, you are going to grab, did I grab the right set? Yes, I grabbed the right set. So in your paper pack, and as you know, there's only one of each in here. So I'm just using a different paper that Deanna used. You're going to use a different paper. So the one you're going to grab is the one it goes tall and it has a butterfly over here on the right-hand side. Now I'm going to say right now, Diane Revley teaches us every time we take a class, don't fall in love with backgrounds. And a background is a background because it's a background. We're going to cover 75% of this. So grab whatever background you want. It really doesn't matter. You're just going to have a little bit peekabooing. But the one I used on here is the one with the butterfly and there's a little frame over here in the right-hand corner. Okay, so grab that one. First thing we're going to do is we're going to ink it up. So take your brown ink pad, whatever color you have, and we're just going to ink the edges. Now, I know you're going to say, but Kourtney, didn't you say we're going to distress that up? Yep. I ink before and after. Why? Because in my head, it makes a difference. So I ink before, I ink her up, and then I'm going to take my distressing tool or whatever you have, if you have a sander or whatnot, and we're just going to distress it. And we're going to get rough with it. Rough. We're just going to distress it up. And so I left these papers the size they were. I just cut them right on. And if it takes a chunk out, yes, I love that. See? Oh, look at that. See? Take a chunk out. That's even better. So rough it up. Ooh, I got really rough there. And you're just going to go around all 4 sides. And this really just kind of distresses it. And I love using this guy in like my 49 and Market stuff too. And this one's from Sizzix. So all the, we have these in stock. So if you guys are wanting them, just holler at me or Deanna and we have them in stock. But what's cool about it, it's a multi-tool. You can use it for other stuff, but I like to use it just the way it is. So at one end, it's a paper distresser. At the other end, it has an X-Acto knife. But these guys their heads, they also pop off. So you can put on a little blendy tool. They have all kinds of different heads that pop on and off, but these are the two that I love together, so I just use those because I already have blendy tools and other things I like. Okay, so we're gonna rough that up. Rough up your edges. And now we have a little bit of brown there, but we have some white. And to me, that's too much white. So now I'm going to go back and ink it up again. So now I still have some brown on there, got some white on there, and we are really making a good grungy mess. Okay. Man, I did make a mess, didn't I? Good grungy mess. So there's your background. Next thing you're going to grab is this little piece right here. This little piece, Deanna cut it in half. She used half of it. So we're going to use the other half of it. And if you haven't done Deanna's class yet, I'll give you measurements. It is 2 7/8, so just a hair short of 3 by 3 3/4. So it's basically half. It's that blue diamond kind of dot. Diamond dots. Those aren't dots. That's a whole different thing, Kourtney. It's the diamonds. Okay, the blue diamonds. Then we're going to grab out our nesting dies, and we're going to go, I'm starting from the inside out, and I'm doing postage stamps. So we're going to do the second postage stamp. And if you look at it, it's pretty much going to fit. Did my comment stop, or is everybody just crafting? I think everybody must be crafting, or my comment stopped. Good old Facebook. You never know what it does. Oh, what were the measurements? Yes, thank you. Now I know the comments are working. It is 3 7/8 by 3 3/4. What we did is we took the full sheet and we cut it in half. And I don't even have a full sheet anymore to show you, but it was attached to another piece. It was attached to another piece, and all I did is I cut the bottom off of it, and I cut that sheet in half long ways. So the other half you will use on Deanna's class, or you already used it on Deanna's class. So it's 2 7/8 by 3 3/4. So some of you are just grabbing your scrap. And pretty much when you put your diamond on there, you're going to see that it is going to go pretty much from side to top. And it is not going to go to bottom, but don't worry about that. We're covering it anyways. Okay? And if you don't have the postage stamp, just leave it like that. Don't do the edges or anything on it. But I like to give it a little bit of decorative edge because, like I said, I'm obsessed with these postage stamps. I wonder what Spellbinders will come out with next to get me obsessed with. Okay, and we're just going to run her through our die cutting machine. I'm just using my, I love this one. This one's the fold away. I love it because it doesn't take up a lot of space on my table. Now, when you take this off, this is all we're getting rid of. This right here, we had very little scrap. So this is trash. Throw that away. Don't need that. Then we're going to ink the edges of this brown. Everything's pretty much going to get ink brown. If I forget to say ink it brown, when in doubt, ink it brown. Like I said, I'm using Vintage Photo. Gathered Twigs is good. Frayed Burlap is good. Any brown is good. I don't know all the Pink Fresh ink colors yet. I know they have browns. Okay, so far we have our background piece grungied up. Oh, look, I even have like these hair, oh man, hairs hanging. I like that. Then we got this piece. Then you're going to dig out, it was from your punches, your clock. So you're going to punch your clock out. I was so excited when Deanna let me have this one. We go through the kits and we zoom and we try to divvy it up. And we both have the same styles and like vintage things and clocks and stuff. So I was so excited when she gave me this one. Okay, so you're going to get the clock. We're just going to ink that up in brown. And that's in your punch outs. You're just going to punch those out. And then also in the punch outs, you're going to have this little heart. Again, just ink or brown. Or whatever color you got. Ink it. So we're just inking and making piles. inky piles. And then from the little thing, I cut out thank you. And I left it full size. So these guys are attached. They came like this on a strip. I left mine full size. All I did was just slice mine apart here on the lines. I did not cut mine down any. So I just sliced them apart on the lines. And for this one, I did this thank you. For that one, I did this thank you. It's whichever one you want. But I did leave that extra space because we're going to do a little stitching here. So you got to have some room for your stitching to stick. And you called it. Ink it brown. Brown, 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 brown. Brown, 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 brown. Ooh, got a little carried away there. Okay. And then this guy is from your big sheet also. And my color might be off a little bit on mine. It's this guy right here, but it has the books down below it. Chop him out. Just use your trimmer and leave a white edge all the way around it. White edge all the way around it. And don't worry about inking that because I wanted it to stay white to kind of match this white edge here too. Okay. So I left one item white. I left the outside of my card white and I left this one little guy white. Okay. So that should be all your pieces. You've got your background. You've got your piece we die cut, that fun little blue postage stamp. You've got your little piece with the books on it and leaving a little white edge around it. If you took off the white, that's great. That's fine. A little tag. And if you don't want thank you, if you want to use happy birthday or a different word, feel free to use what you want to use. I feel like I never have enough birthday cards. I always need more birthday cards. The little heart. Love that little steampunk heart. And then the clock. So does everybody have all those pieces? Are we all inked up and good? Inky? All right, I see some thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we're going to kind of lay our card out. And I'm going to show you how I kind of think in my head when I do clusters. I lay everything out. Because maybe you're like, ooh, I want to move that. I want to twist that. That's not in the right spot. So I lay out all my clusters first. And I love the ephemera packs because ephemera is great for clusters. So we're going to take this guy and I'm going to hang him off the edge a little bit because it kind of adds more interest. It's more appealing to the eye and adds more interest to hang stuff off the edge. So we're just going to hang him off the edge a little bit, kind of bringing him down towards the bottom. And then we're going to take our next piece and put him kind of over to the side. And then we'll put our clock in. And I want my clock to kind of leave. It's going to hang off too. I like pieces that hang and overlap. And then we want our thank you in there. And I want my thank you straight. Everything else is kind of at an angle. And I'm going to move it up. I kind of want this tag hanging out the bottom. I'm going to put the thank you over the edge too, but I don't want my clock hanging out the bottom. So I'm going to raise him up a little bit. Okay. And then my little heart is going to go right there. And that is my layout. And I'm happy with that. Actually, I think I'm going to move it up a little bit just because I don't have anything along the bottom like that. So that's my area and I'm happy with that. I am going to pop the heart, but everything else is going to be glued flat. And when I glue things down, I like things to have movement. I don't like to put glue 100% solid on the back side of it. I like to have things movement. So you can see that things lift up and it adds more dimension to it than versus gluing everything flat. So what I do is I kind of lay out my pieces. I take my liquid glue and I just kind of, I lift up the corner and I add a little glue and I press. And I just kind of do what I call spot checking because by just I'm going to move my heart out of the way. just by lifting up these pieces and putting a little bit of glue behind it, it's going to glue that piece down, but it also gives you area that maybe later you want to tuck something else in there. It gives you the flexibility that you can add something or tuck something later. So I just kind of spot check my glues. Okay. And then it gives it movement. Okay, now we got to spot check the big guy. So I kind of like to say I just put glue in the center. Just glue in the center. That way it holds. And it's not like it needs to make it through a hurricane. So you don't have to put a pound of glue on the back of it. And I'm just using Nouveau glue. It's a liquid glue. I really like it. You could use the Barely Art glue, whatever you've got. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit down here. So I'm just spot checking it. Okay, so far everything on there is flat. And I'm not going to put my heart on yet because we're going to do our stitching first. So I kind of take a piercing mat or a plate or something, and I'm going to sit my card on it. What I find works good when you're sewing or stitching things is sometimes the needle is hard to go through it. So what I like to do is take my paper piercer or my pokey tool, we like to call it, and poke the holes first. So we're going to do an X at the top and an X at the bottom. So basically you are just punching 4 holes and 4 holes. Okay, so you can do an X and an X. And I always like to do things, if I do it once, I do it at least twice. So I did something down here with some black, so I'm going to go up here and do the same thing. So I'm just going to do a 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I go over and do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Doesn't have to be straight, doesn't have to be perfect, but there is going to be our stitching. You can use twine, you can do stitching. Another thing I like to do, if you're not a big stitcher, I poke the holes and then take your black gel pen or your black marker or whatever you have and draw in now your X's. And by putting the holes there, it makes it more intriguing to the eye and actually looks like it's stitched sometimes. Okay, so I've got my needle threaded. I am horrible at tying knots on floss. It never seems to stick. It never seems to stay. So my trick, because it's a card and it doesn't need to be anything special for the knot, I take a little bit of tape, a little bit of Scotch tape or whatever tape you have, and I just tape that tail down. I know, I cheat. I'm not good at knots, and knots are time consuming, and who has time for that? So I just take and tie it. Okay. And now we're just going to put some X's. Just some quick, easy stitching. And there's something about adding different textures to your cards that just really make them, I don't know, there's just something awesome about it. Adding different textures, adding some ribbon, adding some twine, adding floss, adding burlap, just something more natural. And look at that. Has that not cool? Okay. And again, like I said, not good at tying knots. So I'm going to take a little bit of tape and I'm going to tape my tail down, and I'm just going to take my scissors and snip it. Then we're going to do the same thing up at the top. Is anybody stitching with me? I always try to, when I'm doing classes and the crafty hours and different things like that, I always want to try to teach you something new or give you a new idea or new inspiration. And you could be like, oh my God, I love it. Or Kourtney, that is not for me. But that's okay, because not everything is for everyone. But you can at least say you tried or you learned. And stitching's coming back on cards. How many of you guys got the lawn fawn, the little, what's the word? The lawn fawn one that had the, Oh, the little circle with the, oh, why can I not think of words? You know, guys, the new lawn fawn. Oh, thank you, Lorraine. She says she's a needle pointer. She's loving it. So she has, I love it when you can take one of your hobbies and use the same stuff in another one. You can tie it into another hobby or tie it into another use. Hoop. Thank you, Linda. Yes, Lawn Fawn had the hoop. That hoop one was really cool. Right? I mean, this is old school. My grandma taught me counted cross stitch, so I am pulling out my old school floss box where I have all the little colors all labeled and numbered, and so we're pulling her back out. Okay, now we've got that. Now, because we did stitching on the back side, we need to pop the card up. Otherwise, it's not going to lay flat on your card. So we're just going to take foam tape. I was cracking up laughing today. Every time Deanna said foam tape, I needed to start recording her. I could have done it as a drinking game, but she started at noon, so I would have been drunk. But she's like, foam tape, grab your foam tape. Where's your foam tape? Have your foam tape. I love her. I love her. We were joking with her. We said, well, when we go to market, we haven't been to market forever. And we're going to be taking 3 days of classes. So what do we take with us? And how do we fit it in our luggage? And we're joking with Deanna saying she's going to have a little red wagon that she pulls behind her with all the foam tape in it that she's going to need. All right, so there's that. Last thing we're going to do is take the heart, and we are going to add foam tape to the back side of it. So we are going to pop our heart. I think I got a little pop dot here. Just put a little pop dot on the back side. Oh, yes, Elizabeth Craft came out with the embroidery hoop also. See, it's all coming back. It's all coming back. Okay, then we're going to pop that little heart. Popped on him. And then we're just going to tuck the gear under there and glue him down. We're just going to tuck and glue. I'm just using, I'm using this. Yes, she is the foam tape queen, I'm telling you. And there is a reason for the 6 different foam tapes that we tell you guys to get. You have to have those low, medium, highs because they do make a difference. You gotta have the different ones, low, medium, and highs. Okay, and then we're just gonna glue that little gear down with a little liquid glue. And then we will come back to the splatting later. So that is card number 1. The pop dots I use, and the ones Deanna loves too, scrapbook adhesive. I love the scrapbook adhesive 3L. We love it it comes on the rolls of tapes, comes in the little squares. They are and then they come in the strips, and then they come in the micro dots. Yeah, see, I'm an addict. You have to have all these different foams because they really do make a difference. All right, so that is card number 1, and we will come back to it at the end. So sit that one to the side, and we will come back to it. Now, where do I sit it that I don't lose it? Right there. Okay, card number 2. Card number 2. We're going to do this guy here. Card number 2. Okay, so now what we've got, we're going to be grabbing in our thing again. And again, we're going to do a top card. So the card back that you guys are grabbing, remember, I'll have a different one, but a background's a background because it's a background. Use whatever one you have. But the one that I used on this card has kind of a turquoise background to it, and it has a clock over here on the left-hand side. Can you see that? It's got a clock over on the left-hand side. Okay. I'm just grabbing one. It's very similar, but it has that turquoise texture on it, and then it has a clock on the left-hand side. But again, grab whatever piece you want. We're going to do the same steps. We're going to ink it brown. We are going to distress it. We're leaving it the same size that it was in the sheet of paper. So it's that 4 by 6, leaving it same size, 4 by 6. And then we're just going to, where's my distressor? Distress it up. And then we're going to ink it again. And again, I like to take chunks out of it. See where I took a good like V out of there. I like that. Took like a V. And what you could do too is take a V out and then do your stitching over it. How cool would that be? Very organic looking. Very organic. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to go in and re-ink it. Look at this fuzzy mess I'm making. Okay, so there's our background. The next piece we're going to grab, my gosh, I feel like I need to clean this off. Okay, sorry, I couldn't handle the mess. The next piece we're going to grab is the brick wall. This brick wall is the same size as that other piece we had before. It is basically the scrap from Deanna. So we cut the piece in half and then we cut the bottom off. So it had a white brick wall underneath it. I cut off that white brick wall and that whole full paper is cut in half. So it is 2 7/8 by 3 3/4. So same size scrap as the gray diamonds that we had before, good Lord. Same size. 3 3/4 by 2 7/8. It's just the scrap that we had left over from Deanna. We just kind of took and cut those in half so we could share them. She used half, I used half. Oh, thank you, Lynn. I just love it. I love all these dangles. It's very organic. It's very distressed. And this guy, you can get really wild or really gentle with it. And the ink just makes everything pop. Love it. Love, love, love. Okay, so there's that guy. We're grabbing that guy. Now we're going to go back and grab our dies again. So we're going back into our dies and we're going to grab the exact same postage stamp that we had before. Same one, same size. Now we're going to grab one die smaller. One die smaller. So if you just have regular nesting dies, then grab that. Grab your nesting die. But what I'm going to show you is a different way to use your dies. Now, the way we used it before, we used the postage stamp on the edge and the center was full. This time, we're going to cut the center out of it and we're going to make a frame. So then we can layer other pieces in here. We're making a frame. So same idea as we did with the other card, the first one. We're just kicking it up a notch and nesting the two dies together. So again, the postage stamp is pretty much going to go side to side and top. It's going off the bottom. It's okay. We won't see that. And then I'm taking my other nester and I'm just centering it and it'll be fine. It'll cut both of these at the same time. And that's it for die cutting. If you put your die cutter out of the way, if you're done, but that is it for die cutting for the night. Okay, so let me peel our dies off of here. We're done with the dies. You can set those to the side. I'm going to put mine right back into my magnetic sheet because if I don't, I have a tendency to lose them. And I love these sets. Deanna got me hooked on these. These are the magnetic sheets from Totally Tiffany. And then they go in these plastic sleeves. And then they go in that plastic box. And then you can thumb through them. So I'm putting all my nesting dies in one box. So they are easy to find. Love my nesting dies, but sometimes I have a hard time finding them. So I'm putting all my nesters together. Okay, so what you should have is something that looks like that. Totally cut the bottom of it off. That is what you want. Now, guess what? We're going to ink it brown. Brown, brown, brown. Everything gets brown. Brown, brown, brown. How fun is this set? I love this set. We're always on the hunt for more masculine stuff, and this stuff was great. There's also 12 by 12, and 8 by 8, and 6 by 6 paper pad that match this set too. And this cards is new for them. Deanna actually threw this idea at 49 and 3/4 and said, we have this thing called Crafty Hour, and we need a card kit with lots of ephemera in it. And they actually kind of made this for Crafty Hour. Okay, I'm just using happy birthday. You can use whatever sentiment you want. We're going to grab the little car out. I am not. He's from your die cuts. I got to clean him up a little bit. He's from your die cuts. We are not going to ink him. We're going to leave that white border around it. I'm just cleaning up my border, cleaning up my hanging chads. So there is your car, not inking it. We're going to leave that border on there. Then you've got, from your punch outs, these 2 flowers. These are the 2 that Deanna didn't use. So you should have these 2 left over. We're going to use those flowers. We are not inking those. We're going to leave those kind of a white edge also. And then from your die cut sheet, your punch outs, you're going to have this thing that looks like a little ledger. Ooh, the lighting is horrible on that. You're going to have a little ledger, and it has kind of a wiggly edge to it. Wiggly edge, just a random script. We are going to ink that. We are going to brown that one up. And if you love this grungy distress look, you could totally do it on the edge of like these pieces too. And it really makes them pop. Like I said, it looks great on all the 49 and Market stuff too. Okay, so there's all our pieces. Now we're going to do just like we did on the last one. So let me move all my pieces out of the way. We're going to kind of lay them down, audition them, see how we want them. We're going to put that guy kind of at an angle. We're going to bring our frame in, and our frame is going to sit inside over here. I want it to go over the side. We're going to kind of tuck. I want to tuck it on that corner like that. Maybe twist it a little bit more. Okay, I like that. And then our car is going to go down here. Make sure we have room for our car. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and spot check these 2 items because that is where I want those guys. I am going to pop the car. We are going to add foam to the car, but I'm just going to kind of spot check these guys a little bit. Remember, kind of apply the glue in the center. That way it still has some movability to it. I'm going to tuck a flower back here, so I am not gluing that portion down. I'm just going to go in here and glue this bottom leg down. And then we're going to cover the fact that we are missing that bottom portion. So go ahead and leave that like that. So we've got that kind of popping. Then we're going to take your big flower and we're just going to tuck that big flower kind of in behind there. I kind of like that black part showing. Ooh, I like that. Okay, we're going to tuck that big guy up there. Give him a little spot check. Now that he's tucked in, I am going to just pop a little bit of glue on that corner, kind of hold that down. And then our next flower, I'm going to put him in that top corner, and he's just going to kind of hide the intersection of some of those stuff. And again, if you want to foam tape any of this, feel free to foam tape it. Okay. Then we're going to go in with happy birthday, and I'm going to do happy birthday at an angle, and I want my car pop. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my car down first, And then I'll figure out where my happy birthday goes, because I want my card to be straight. I want my card to be straight, but I want everything else to be crooked. And the car is just going to hide the fact that we are missing the bottom portion of those frames. Okay, there's my car. And then happy birthday, I kind of just want to tuck them in. Kind of tuck them in like that. Okay, so I'm going to add a little glue to the back just to hold it, because we're going to go back and do that stitching again. Did you ever think I would have you stitching? Okay, there we go. Everybody got that so far? Quick and easy, just clustering. I love to cluster stuff. It's all about the cluster. Okay, we're going to do stitching on here. Okay. So we're going to do stitching here on the corner of your happy birthday. And then we're going to do stitching up here. So like I said, what I do at one side, I like to do it the other side. So it's kind of equal. So just 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is kind of just a repeat of what we did on the last one. So I'll kind of go fast with that. We're going to run our needle through. Oh, I hope I have enough black, or you're going to have to watch me struggle to thread another needle. I'm just going to tape it down to hold that, because who has time for knots? And we're just going to crisscross. What do they say? Crisscross applesauce. If you're watching and you haven't grabbed one of these Crafty Hour kits, I think Deanna says she still has 2 available, and I think we still have 2 available also. So you can jump on the websites or stop in store and grab one, because these are a great masculine set. And I did 3 cards, and Deanna did 3 cards, and you'll have a little bit of leftovers that you can still do some other items with also. But also check out the paper pad collections. Like I said, there's the 12x12s, the 6x6, and the 8x8s. And I can officially say I got my dad's birthday card and Father's Day card done. Whew! And I know he's not watching, so we're all good. Well, I better pick up the pace. We got one more card to do, and then we have to do our final touch of splatting on each one. Do a little bit of splatting. Okay, tape that on the back. Then we're going to do the same thing we did on the other one. Foam tape it. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Thank you, thank you. So she's loving these cards. Then we're going to foam tape the whole thing to a white card front. And this is why I love the 3L foam tape. I can lay it down and rip it with my fingers, and I don't have to cut it. Because how many times have you held a foam tape? Yeah, I've done this. Where you're holding the foam tape and you go to cut it like this, and you snip your fingers. Done it more than once. And especially when we have those awesome precision sharp scissors. They just go right through your finger like butter. Okay, let's make sure our card is right side up. And just fasten him right down. And we'll have a little bit of white showing all the way around the outside. And I leave the white. I left the white because we're going to go back and add some white paint splatter. So I do want some white on there. So I left the white. Okay, leave the white. All right, last one. So last card, we're going to go side by side. You should have a side by side card. This one, the background you're using kind of has white up in the right-hand corner. You've got some brick wall in the bottom corner with a little, I think there's a gear right here. And then there's also a little black gear over here and a little bit of turquoise. And your paper is going side by side on this one. So what we're going to hunt out is going to be this guy from your punch out sheets, your die cut sheets. And since we got him in our hand, go ahead and ink him. Go ahead and make him brown. So that is from your punch out sheets. And see, look, they chunked it out, kind of like we chunked out with that other piece. So there's that. Next, you're going to grab your library card. And we're going to ink the edges of that brown. And this was, I think this was from the cut aparts. I don't think this one was in the punch out sheet. I think that one was in the cut aparts. So I just left a little bit of white on the outside edge of it. That could be the die punch outs. I can't remember. I just kind of punched them all out and I was like, oh crap, I probably should have left those. Okay. And then from your punch out sheet, you have this little one here that says Nevins Memorial Library. So another little library card. I love library cards. Oh my gosh. I would love to, I don't know, I'm sure all the libraries threw them all out, but I would love to find a whole stack of those from like an old elementary school or something to have all the kids' handwriting and stuff on it. Oh, that'd be cool. Okay, so you've got those little library cards. You've got your dude, your beer bottle. Now, I noticed Deanna used the beer bottle, but I thought that was supposed to be in my pile, so I don't know if she grabbed a wrong piece or I grabbed a wrong piece. But I did use the beer bottle. So if you used it in Deanna's, that's great. Grab another piece. I think there's a skateboard, there's a baseball bat, there's other pieces on there. So grab that other piece and then whatever sentiment you want. On this one, I used cheers because I had a beer bottle on it, right? Oh, that is awesome, Janice. Used to work at a library and you have some? That is awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, and then we're just going to ink that up. This one I did You're Amazing. That one I did Cheers because it's got the beer bottle. Okay, and then your background piece. Your background piece is going side by side. We're just going to brown it up. We're going to distress it and brown it again. When we are taking classes and when I'm learning, it's all about repetition. If you do something once, you're like, oh, that was fun. And then you forget. So I find if you do something at least 3 times, then you kind of ingrain that technique in your head or you ingrain that idea in your head. So always do something 3 times. If you're doing an inky stencil-y background, maybe grab some of those Ranger tags, which are super cheap and you get a bunch in a pack, and do some inky backgrounds. If you see a stenciling technique, do it 3 different times. Maybe switch your colors up each time. Maybe switch the stencil up each time. But do a technique 3 times, and then you're going to remember it. Or as Christina always says, make a sloppy copy. We use that in Maker Mania a lot. Sloppy copies. You make your sloppy copy, and that gets all your measurements and your inking and stuff ingrained in your head. And then the next time you're staring at a piece of paper going, what should I do with this piece of paper? Oh, I know. I'm going to ink it brown, and then I'm going to distress the crap out of it. Because I remember I did that in a class, and I enjoyed it. I got these fuzzies everywhere. Let me get them controlled in the trash can here. Okay, I think we're doing good on time. This one's just clustering and stitching, so hopefully we won't go over. We'll be good. So we're going to cluster. We're going to cluster those pieces over here in the corner. So we're laying down that ledger first. We're going to lay down our library pocket. And then our other layer pocket on top. So now we're just clustering. Just clustering. And then we're just going to, like I said, put a little glue, spot check it. Maybe I did that a little too wonky. Some days I get really carried away. Oh. Okay, so we're just clustering, just adding clusters. That one wants to take off. Then you've got your little library card there. We're just going to kind of put it in an angle and cluster it. I always do things in like threes. So when I was cutting my ephemeras out and doing my pieces, I did it without willingly knowing that I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The other cards, same way. 3 embellishments, 3 clusters, 3 embellishments, 3 clusters. I was doing everything in threes. So I kept grabbing 6 of everything. Okay, there's that. And then we're going to add our little dude. And everything I'm just gluing. If you want to pop it, go for it. Go for it. I'm just kind of putting him over the intersection there. And then we've got You Are Amazing. I'm going to come in here and I want it to go kind of over here on the edge. Bring it across the card. And then we're going to put our beer bottle, just kind of line it up there. Perfect. I love it. And then we are going to stitch. Just kind of cluster that. And then we'll add our gears. Oh my God, I love these gears. These gears are so awesome. So awesome. Okay, there's that. Go in to do our stitching. Looks like we're doing good on time. We're going to have time to do our painty splatters if you like to do that. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to put an X there. And then on here, I tied the stitching into that ephemera piece. So we're going to stitch the ephemera piece on there. So it is a little bit harder to poke through that ephemera. But that's why I like to pre-poke the holes with the pokey tool versus trying to do it with the needle. Because sometimes it's hard to get that needle, because I use a big fat blunt needle, through that. Wow, that piece of tape was way too big, but that's okay. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm not going to have enough thread, and I'm going to have to thread it just for one corner. We shall see though. Is anybody doing the stitching too? Do you like the stitching? Anybody using the trick of just poke the holes and trace it with a pin or a felt pin? Or you could use your glaze pins. That works too. Gives it a faux stitch look. Oh, I got some thumbs up. Okay, awesome. We're trying new things tonight. Did anybody look at my supply list and be like, what in the world is she doing? What in the world is she getting us into? Better watch out. We might be getting wax seals out. Of course, I know not everybody has a wax seal, so that's my next addiction. Gosh, I love the wax seals and mixing the colors and the waxes. Oh my gosh, be still my heart. So much fun. Oh, haven't stitched the art class. Oh. Okay, we're breaking out the old thing. Awesome. Thank you, Roberta. Roberta's going to give it a try. I just love, it gives it a little bit more texture. I like texture and a little bit of depth without adding too much bulk to it. Ooh, we might be good. We might be good here. Like I said, Lawn Fawn and Elizabeth Craft and I'm sure we're going to see even more stitching. Oh yes, and Spellbinders has the 12 Days of Stitchmas advent calendar that we're doing pre-orders on right now. So yeah, there's the stitching for that too. And that advent calendar, I have seen it. Oh, you will not be disappointed. It is awesome. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to add our foam tape and tape it to there. Yes, 12 Days of Stitchmas. And that's going to come out in August. So you will have time to use it and make your Christmas cards. And Spellbinders is going to have some, I don't know if you want to call them like a mini class, but they're going to have their designers doing projects with those and posting about them on their blog and stuff. Okay. Oh, we are doing good on time. We are doing great. Okay, stick that on. Now we're going to add our gears. So I use 2 of the little gears. And something that's cute too is you can stack these gears and glue them together. And that kind of gives you a whole new look also. Okay, let me put my lid on my ink pad. Can you guys hear the frogs? It has been raining here all day, and we have a water retention pond in our back area. And I can hear the frogs. They're like all excited. It's all wet and rainy. They are singing a beautiful song. I love frogs. And the window's not even open. Okay, we're just attaching the gears. Okay, I'm going to give them a moment to dry, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do to the cards for a finishing touch. And this is totally optional. You might be like, there's already paint in the background. I'm good. I don't need to add anything else. But for me, I wanted to tie it in. I love that the mixed media was on the background, but it looked like everything was clean, and it just looked out of place. So I'm going to go in and splatter. I'm going to splatter some black. I'm going to splatter some white because I felt like it just tied it in. So it needed that splatter. So what I've got, and I make a mess. So I've got my splat box. This is the Tim Holtz splat box. And let me see if this fits under my camera. Yep. And what we're going to do is I'm going to splat it with white and I'm going to splat it with black. And if you follow me in Maker Mania, you saw I have these. I'm always mixing black or white paint. I always need it for my splats. So what I do is I pre-mix up my whites and I have it and I mix it up in a black too. So I don't have to mix it every time. Oh, I might need a water bottle. I don't know if I have a water bottle up here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of white on my mat. And actually, that might look like it's fluid enough. And I'm going to take a paintbrush. I like a fan brush, whatever kind of brush you've got. Nope, it needs water added. We're going to do that. Whoop, I'm going to have to holler at Mr. Valley really quick. Hey, Ken, can you bring me a water mister really quick? There should be a big one on the table. Okay, Ken's bringing a water bottle. And then something else. When I was doing this, I don't like to have splats on my words. I like to be able to read it because it never fails. The splat goes right where you don't want it. So I'm just taking the backing off my foam tape. That was the trash that we had. And I am just laying it over the word. Thanks. That way, if I get some splat on there, it's not going to splat on my word. Okay. And then, so I'm just going to take. Woo. And I'm just going to tap it with white. Now, if you got an area that is too heavy, like I got paint on my little dude, and I don't want paint on my little dude. These are glossy, so it rubs right off. So if you get it too much in somewhere before it dries, you can take that paint off. Just like that. Okay, so there, I'm going to bring all the cards in. I'm going to do white on all of them, and then I'm going to go back and do black. Again, totally optional. Maybe you don't like an inky mess, and maybe that white splat in the background is perfect for you. But I felt like it tied these pieces in. I felt like it was just too clean. It just didn't match the background. And this is just white paint watered down. You could also do gesso watered down. And the splat box kind of helps you keep it a little bit controlled, but I still get carried away and it still sometimes ends up all over me. Okay, then we've got our thank you. So I'm just kind of masking off the area that I don't want paint because I still want to be able to read my words. Like I said, if you get too much in one area and you're like, ooh, that is a lot of paint. It's on glossy paper. It wipes right off. Just kind of take a towel or a paper towel or whatever you got and you can dab it off. That's the nice thing kind of about this gloss. Okay, so there's all my white. I'm going to clean. I'm just going to leave that because we're going to go back in with black now. So I got to clean my paintbrush off because now we're going to go in with black. And do the same thing. Ooh, how are we doing? Okay, we're only 1 minute over. We're good. Get my black out. Again, it's just black paint, watered down. Tapping off some of the big clumps. For some reason, I'm getting big clumps. And when I do my splats, I don't do the whole thing. I usually do a corner or I do like a diagonal across it. Okay, there's that one. Oh, and then I can take off that, and then my thank you doesn't have splats in it. And you can still read what it says. All right, so as I'm going to splat these two. I'm just going to kind of say thank you for everybody for joining us for Crafty Hour 13. I hope you learned some new techniques. I hope you had a great time. If you didn't get to watch Deanna today at noon our time, make sure to go back to Clipper Street's page, and her recording will be there, so you can go back and catch it on the replay. As always, we'd love to see what you guys have created and post your versions, your interpretations in the Crafty Hour Creations Facebook group. That group is there for you guys to share your ideas, to post your inspirations, and we love to see what you're creating. And then don't forget, tomorrow morning, we will be posting on our Facebook pages the links that Crafty Hour number 13, 14, 15, I gotta always think we're 2 ahead. Crafty Hour 15 will go live tomorrow. And again, it's going to be an amazing kit chock full of amazing products. So let me move my box out of the way. Let me bring in my dry cards. And there is our fun, masculine, inky painty, distressed good time that we had. I hope you guys enjoyed the techniques. I hope you enjoyed the ideas. Thank you for joining us and have a fabulous night. And we'll see you guys for the next Crafty Hour creations. Bye-bye.